Madam Web has received largely poor reviews, and its poor reception could lead to problems for Kraven the Hunter. Sony is on a roll with its animated Spider-Verse films, but the same cannot be said about the studio's live-action Sony Spider-Man universe. Since the MCU has Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Sony has created a universe with Spider-Man villains that doesn't include the web-slinger. Unfortunately, these films have had mixed results, with the last film, Morbius, being a critical and box office flop. Madam Web is on track to have the same disastrous results as Morbius, and its recent critical reviews support that. It's another bad look for Sony that could have a trickle-down effect on its upcoming films. Sony's next Marvel flick, Kraven the Hunter, has some unique aspects that make it interesting, but Madam Web's lackluster quality will hurt the film, whether it's good or not. Madam Web is the latest Sony Spider-Man universe film to garner terrible critical reception. The first trailer for Madam Web wasn't received overly positively, and those worries were confirmed after the reviews came out. The movie currently holds a 17% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it continues a horrible trend for Sony's Spider-Man universe. The studio's last film, Morbius, holds a 15%, meaning Madam Web's reviews are almost as bad, with a few reviews saying Morbius is better. Morbius' horrendous reception led to the film bombing at the box office, grossing $167.5 million worldwide. While the Venom films performed well at the box office, they weren't critical darlings. Venom holds a 30% critic score, while Venom, Let There Be Carnage holds a 57%. However, both of these films have been hits with audiences despite the poor critical reception. Still, none of these films have reached over 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Madam Web is the latest to hit a disastrously low score for a superhero film. Audiences are frustrated with these films, and it risks souring audiences on future movies before they release. Two Sony Spider-Man universe bombs in a row makes Kraven the Hunter and Venom 3 a tough sell. Dakota Johnson in Madam Web and Aaron Taylor-Johnson in Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter is the next Marvel film in Sony's lineup, and it's being set up for disaster. Sony hasn't done anything to help its Marvel universe with Morbius and Madam Web, two films that received a nearly universal negative response. Kraven is a character many comic book readers are aware of, but there is little trust in Sony after its last two critical flops. Even if Kraven is good, many audiences won't want to see it after seeing how bad Sony's last two films were. Venom 3 has a better chance, but if Kraven also fails to land, it may prove too much. The same thing recently happened with the MCU. After projects like Thor, Love and Thunder, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Secret Invasion left viewers with a bad taste in their mouths, they didn't have the urgency to go see new MCU films. The Marvels fell victim to this, ended up bombing despite reasonably positive reviews. With Madam Web and Morbius' recent reception, Kraven the Hunter and Venom 3 could share the same fate as the Marvels, whether it's fair or not. Why Kraven the Hunter and Venom 3 could still succeed despite Sony's recent failures. Aaron Taylor-Johnson in Kraven the Hunter. There are several reasons why Venom 3 and Kraven the Hunter could avoid the lingering negative reception from Madam Web. For Kraven, the Aaron Taylor-Johnson-led film is the first Sony Spider-Man universe film to be rated R. The trailer showed lots of bloody violence, and a more mature and gory superhero flick could be something that attracts audiences. Also, the character was recently featured as a central villain in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 video game, so there is a boost of popularity that could help the film at the box office. Meanwhile, Venom 3 is riding the success of the previous two Venom films, so it could escape the poor perception of this universe. The first two Venom films weren't hits with critics, but audiences still showed up, and Tom Hardy's performance as Venom gets people in theater seats. Sony's Marvel universe is in trouble right now, but Kraven the Hunter still has time to course-correct the franchise after Madam Web.